And we continue to follow that breaking news. Major car crash, and it's really a car pileup on I-70. This is a live look at the traffic backup near the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnels. The Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office says the westbound lane of I-70 will stay closed for medical staging purposes, but one lane is getting through. However, the right lane, is open for traffic and getting through. All of the eastbound Interstate 70 is estimated to be closed now for 4 to 6 hours.
The Sheriff's Office says more than 75 cars are involved in that crash. It's on the Highway 6 east on-ramp to I-70. This is close to the Loveland ski area. Colorado State Patrol says 19 people are hurt. No deaths have been reported. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen. And
I'm Phil Lipoff. We want to get straight out to our Matt Renew, who is live for us right now, sort of in the thick of that. You see the crashed up cars behind him. Matt.
Phil, Kim, good afternoon, almost evening. Not a good time along I-70, eastbound I-70. This is the scene behind me. You can see State Patrol sort of doing triage for the vehicles, going through and seeing exactly what the damage is, what the cars are, probably who the owners are so they can get them towed, get the people notified. 75 to 78 vehicles involved in this pileup just east of the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnel. So if you're familiar with this spot, it's just east of the tunnel. So as you're coming out of the tunnels, right by the Loveland ski area, sort of right in between the main Loveland ski area and Loveland Valley is where all of this happened. You can see these cars are just piled up. This is a tow truck that was actually had cars on it involved in the accident, and then some of the cars piled up behind this tow truck. Drivers say that the conditions were just a whiteout, blowing snow, a fine snow that just created whiteout conditions, really reducing visibility. They didn't really know where they were at, maybe just down to a few feet, and then the roads were slick as well, and they all started piling into each other. And then once that pile started growing, it was just one car and a wave after it, pushing the cars in front of it, until you had 75, 78 cars just stacked up here. Looking behind me, probably several dozen wreckers and tow trucks back there trying to clear all of this out. It is an absolute mess, a demolition derby of cars in this eastbound lanes of I-70. There is one lane westbound now open, moving through here, but it is slow and backed up. Huge delays there. Rest of the traffic that normally would be going eastbound is going over Loveland Pass and then going around. That's going to be a bit of a delay, but certainly a much faster route than waiting for this to open, because it will be hours and hours into the evening. Reporting from just east of the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnels, I'm Matt Renew, 9 News. Phil, Kim, just a mess along I-70. It's clearing up now, but that weather was just horrible earlier.
Can't imagine when you can't see in front of you, and it only takes one to try and stop, and They can't. Oh, Matt, well, we know that it's going to be hours before they get all that moved out of the way. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, that's the natural reaction when you see 75 plus cars pile up, and especially in that area. Anybody who's driven there knows it's dangerous on a normal day, and then you add some weather to it, and my goodness, we're grateful that we haven't heard of any fatalities.
I know, and Kathy, he says Matt's up there all the time. He lives there. That he's never seen a pileup with that many vehicles.
Yeah, I think we just went from such warm, dry conditions to the heavy, wet snow, and then the wind came in, created the whiteout conditions, and potentially even a flash freeze of that slush on the roadways. So what was wet and slushy, already creating issues, slip and slide issues because your tread's full of slush, maybe become a quick flash freeze and icy conditions up there. So we're not done with the snow in the mountains. Like Matt said, it stopped for now, as it has also at Winter Park, but it's still coming down. And this is our camera at Copper Mountain. We're not done with this storm just yet. A few showers rolling into Denver, across the foothills into Fort Collins. We have a little more rain coming. Red flag warnings out for southern Colorado for high fire danger. So this moisture is really beneficial. We had 70s and 80s in southern Colorado, but a cooler day in Denver with temperatures in the 50s. And the shower movement is from the southwest toward the northeast. Counterclockwise flow of a storm that's going to bring more mountain snow. And that I-70 corridor could see additional snowfall in the next 3 hours. More showers coming off the foothills outside of Conifer into Highlands Ranch up toward Lakewood and also into Ponderosa Park. We have a shot at seeing another brief heavy downpour from many areas. And then this whole system is going to wind down and move out by about about 9-10 o'clock tonight. So coming up, we're going to have another check of the radar and talk about the second storm and chance for snow in Denver on Friday.
A man convicted of a series of 1991 pipe bomb blasts in Grand Junction could be released from prison as soon as next month. Daughter of a man killed now fighting to make sure James Ginrich stays behind bars. Ginrich's murder conviction got tossed yesterday, and now he could be eligible for parole.
Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates joins us. And Kevin, the daughter of one of the victims remains certain that he is guilty in this case.
Yeah, Kim and Phil, Carrie Yancer told me this afternoon that despite the dismissal of the convictions for murder, she is certain Ginrich is guilty, and she's determined to do whatever she can to prevent his release from prison. Carrie Yancer hasn't forgotten facing the man accused of killing her father.
James Ginrich is a man of evil. I sat in the courtroom 33 years ago at the young age of 21 and watched as he smirked at witnesses, no remorse, played his Game Boy.
We, the jury, find the defendant, James Ginrich, guilty, murder in the first degree with extreme indifference.
Jimmy Ginrich headed to prison for life, convicted of pipe bomb blasts that terrorized Grand Junction. One exploded under a van, killing 12-year-old Maria Gonzalez. Another blew up under a pickup, killing Yancer's dad, Henry Rubel. The dismissal of the murder charges hasn't changed her belief in Ginrich's guilt.
There has not been a pipe bomb in Grand Junction since he's been incarcerated. And I think that is a critical fact, that the community of Grand Junction has had peace since then.
The problem? An expert in what's known as tool mark identification testified that marks on remnants of those bombs could only have come from Ginrich's pliers and wire strippers.
Like hair and fiber analysis, what used to be accepted as gospel scientific fact is now questioned because of uncertainties about the reliability of the identifications.
Scott Robinson is a 9 News legal analyst.
Excluding any other possible tool is certainly a problem with tool mark identification.
Ginrich remains behind bars, serving a 72-year sentence for using explosive devices and assault. But next month, the state parole board is set to consider his bid for freedom. Yancer plans to fight that.
We can't change the motion from yesterday, but we can definitely impact what's going to transpire in the future.
Yancer is not the only one convinced of Ginrich's guilt. Mesa County's district attorney is as well, and sought opinions from other tool mark experts. Those opinions varied. He also had the bomb fragments tested for DNA and fingerprints. Nothing was found there that would allow prosecutors to take Ginrich back to trial on the murder charges once again, and they were dismissed. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Kevin, thank you. Fire investigators believe 2 porta potties may have been set on fire intentionally in Nederland earlier this month. The fires happened at Chippa Park on April 8th. Nederland Fire Protection District says firefighters got that call, found the porta potties and a nearby tree burning. The firefighters were able to quickly extinguish the flames and prevented them from spreading. Several agencies are investigating, but current evidence just suggests it may be arson.
A man in Denver is set to spend the next decade in the Department of Corrections for running a home remodeling scheme. Avi Schwab was found guilty in February on 47 felony charges of theft, money laundering, and violating the state's organized crime law related to Schwab Builders and Avi's remodeling and contracting. According to an indictment, homeowners would hire him for work, but then were ghosted and left with unfinished or poorly done renovations. The Office for the State Attorney General's office says the scheme stole more than $1.4 million from homeowners.
A group in Fort Collins is circulating a petition for a ballot initiative that would give citizens the final say on any new surveillance technology used by the city. This is according to our partners at the Coloradan. Members of the newly formed Northern Colorado Privacy Coalition are leading that initiative. This is all in response to Fort Collins police using flock license plate reading cameras. Those cameras have been controversial in cities like Denver, as critics question whether they can be used for immigration enforcement. The proposed ordinance would require voter approval in any changes to surveillance systems or contracts in the city. The city's chief information officer said it would also require voters to sign off on the systems the city already has in place. Petitioners have until June 17th to collect enough signatures.
A lawsuit filed against Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment claims the agency was too late to issue an air pollution permit for the JBS meatpacking plant in Greeley. The suit was filed by environmental group, the Center for Biological Diversity. The group says the plant is responsible for a major air pollution through the slaughter of the cattle there. The suit says JBS was too late to apply for an air pollution permit, and the state has yet to issue the permit nearly 6 years since the application was submitted in April of 2022. State and federal law says the state must approve or deny an air permit within 18 months. The suit also claims the plant has been operating without a valid permit since 2021. We reached out to JBS for comment. The company says it acknowledges that it did not file the permit on time. The company says it's working with CDPHE and believe they're meeting all expectations. JBS employees, about 3,800 people at their Greeley plant and one of its largest meatpacking plants in the country, I should say. JBS and the union representing workers recently agreed to a new contract after a 3-week strike.